Hi there, it's Vanessa with Property Tribes TV, and we've just finished a fantastic festive net walk in the Surrey Hills, and it gives me great pleasure to share with you via this interview a dear friend of mine and somebody who I also regard as a mentor, and that is Tom Evans, aka The Book Right. So welcome, Tom.
Hiya.
And tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, I help people write books, and I believe there's a book in everybody, and more than that, a book is just the best business card you can ever have.
Fantastic, yes.
Apart from the fact you've got content you can give to people which is relevant, and you can explain your domain expertise. For some reason the press, TV and radio love having an author on, so it's a great way of getting interviewed.
Fantastic. And you also describe yourself as a catalyst, and you can help people if they're stuck, or they've just come up against a brick wall in what they're doing. Explain that a bit more.
Well, I found out when I first started helping people that you change your business a little bit depending on the business opportunities that come your way, and more people came to me with what looked like writer's block, but it was obvious it wasn't writer's block at all. It was life blocks.
Right.
And so I found out that the business skills that I had, because I've got training in electronic engineering and broadcast technology, the business skills to get myself out of a business predicament were actually really useful in terms of getting people out of a creative predicament. But the more and more I looked into it, the more I could see that the issues went back into real life. So I trained up as a hypnotherapist and got some other life skills so I could help my clients. And I found that these have been fantastic now in using business.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And on Property Tribes, we try and encourage investors and landlords to treat property as a business. How could we, in our arena, what sort of strategies of yours that could we use in what we're doing?
Well, I'm a great fan of the spin-off, right, and the lateral thinking. So I use mind mapping a lot, and if you sort of put your central issue or opportunity in the middle of a mind map, and then sort of use branches off of that just to go associate and make different ideas. So take that property, for example. Is it best used in residential? Is it used for park commercial? I don't know the property industry.
Holiday lets.
Exactly, yeah. So what else?
There's a lovely big tractor coming past. With a lovely little doggy in the cab, sorry.
Exactly.
It's the country.
That's some good wood for people's fires there.
So you're saying yes, mind maps and.
Well, the idea is what else could you do with it? Let's say it's not performing well for you. Is there anything you can do with it? Could you give it a new coat of paint? Can you put new furniture in it? Could you go for a certain niche market? So if you made it so it had disabled, it was disabled friendly, or it suited elder people, could you then market it in the Saga magazine and stuff like that? So you take, instead of just doing what everyone else does, do something differently and do it then really, really well. And then if you find something that works really well, formula, then you replicate it.
Fantastic.
You know what I mean? Otherwise, if you replicate, if you like,
something that doesn't work,
which is like the model that a lot of people are in, you're only going to get the same issues, aren't you?
This is true.
Yeah.
So moving forwards into 2011, are you optimistic about business in general next year? Where do you see opportunities and threats?
Well, I don't do threats, to be honest with you.
Right.
So threats are just learning, as far as I'm concerned. So I can only see opportunity, and actually all my opportunities have come about because I've now written 4 books.
Yeah.
And the 4 books have opened doors for me. But I started that 4 years ago. So the best time to start a book, like the best time to plant a tree, is yesterday.
And the best time to buy a house as well, yesterday,
exactly.
20 years ago. This is true. And a lot of our landlords are now blogging, and that's something that you also help people develop their blogs as well, don't you?
I do. Well, a blog can be a book nowadays. These Kindle readers, you can publish a blog straight to the Kindle reader. So people, and every time I blog every article is a potential book or a potential chapter from a book. And if you were to, blog the diary of a landlord, diary of a property, and you did get that going for 12 months, you might find that without doing anything, you got a book at the end of it, for example.
Fantastic.
But the best thing about blogs is just that they're serendipity generators. People find you through them. And I've got deals out of blogs I've written. I got a publishing deal out of a blog that I wrote. Yep. Publisher didn't like your blog, and I said, well, I've got this manuscript. He said, well, I'll publish that.
Fantastic.
That was that
so
simple.
you've got to put it out there and aggregate it and so on.
And blogging is a new marketing.
I agree, totally. So for our tribe, are you happy to hear from anybody if they just want to run some ideas by you, or just use you as sounding board for something that they're thinking about?
Yeah, and one's just come in from me. I'd love to do some property tribe mind maps.
Fantastic.
templates. So we'll work on these together and put them up in the new year.
Brilliant.
And they're free templates anybody can use to map out their property portfolio or map out their strategy. And let's do that January, shall we?
That's a fantastic idea. Thank you so much,
Pleasure.
Tom. It's Tom Evans, the Bookwright, at the Bookwright on Twitter, and one of, as I said, a dear friend of myself and Nick, and somebody who has been a great mentor to us. And it's lovely to be able to share him with you via this interview. And I hope you've enjoyed getting to know Tom Evans, the Bookwright, a little bit. Thank you very much for watching.
Thanks,
Vanessa.
Tom. Thanks, Nick.